Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is John.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
Everybody loves a winner. Everyone can see that I am. Everybody follows a leader, baby. Cruising down the streets in Xian.
Well, Kevin, my friend, it's good to see you again. How's it going?
It's great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm over here rocking my Atlanta Braves shirt, mourning the fact that we're not watching some live baseball on the television screen right now.
We're still on COVID-19 lockdown.
We hope all of you at home are safe and sound, washing your hands, hugging a loved one that lives in your house for the last 14 days only, and kicking back with a cold one and listening to some 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger with us.
So what type of cold one are you enjoying?
Right now, I am drinking what I like to assume was going to be St. Arnold's beer of the summer for summer music festival season. It's called Headliner. It's a delicious blonde ale. It's excellent.
That sounds just up my street.
How about you?
I am sipping on a little Four Roses small batch.
Ooh.
Rocks, of course.
Naturally.
I wish you could see. I wish you could see this glass. The outside of it's all frosty. Yeah, extra cold. That's how I like it.
Well, kids, when last we talked, things were actually looking okay for Kurt and the gang. Our last episode, we saw Kurt go from zero to hero in his training with Xian. We also witnessed the first sparks of romance between Kurt and Xian's niece and local business owner, Mylee. Back at the hospital, Eric Sloan, Kurt's brother, who was paralyzed in an unsanctioned fight with the Thai champ, has recovered enough to sexually harass nurses and leave the hospital.
He's back in the groove.
And just as Mylee seemed to be making her own move on Kurt by inviting him on an after-lunch stroll, Xian says that Kurt will be otherwise indisposed because they're going to a special place, Kevin.
Yeah, let's talk about the special place.
What an absolutely amazing, even pivotal scene to kick off an episode.
Dude,
Right?
I mean, this scene is the centerpiece of the film.
I was going to ask if it's your favorite scene, but I think it
has to be. It's like every movie, every one of these movies that we talked about, I feel like has had that scene. That's like, this is the scene. This is the moment. This is your meatball sub scene from Point Break.
This is your Utah Get Me To from Point Break. This is your Ellis scene from Die Hard. This is that moment.
It's all been building to this moment that just makes your jaw drop and you say, what the fuck am I watching right now?
My eyes, they deceive me. They betray me.
Let's get into it, dude. Let's get into it. Xian takes Kurt to a bar where Freddie Lee and his main henchmen and a bunch of other assorted goons are all hanging out.
Yeah, it's sort of like a generic-ish looking motorcycle bar, but
it seems to be out in the sticks.
Yeah,
still.
like out in the boonies. Well, everything I feel like
it's accessible by boat.
Wherever they're supposed to be is the boondocks. Van Damme, if we can just talk for a moment about wardrobe again, is rocking as ever some pleated pants,
the highest waisted pants that have ever been made,
his black cowboy boots, which we've seen before, and the pièce de résistance is this fucking weird racer back suspender tank top thing. It's so weird.
It's got like, I've not seen a dude wearing a racerback tank top probably ever. And then it's got it's like either clips or clasps or like adjustable little,
I think it's adjustable
hardware on the front where you
based on the size of your pecs and traps. Well, I guess when you're ripped as shit, you wear a shirt like that. I don't know, because you still got to show those muscles off.
I have no idea, but it's memorable.
But just like looking around, it's a weird. There's like R&B playing. There's one couple dancing. The bar is like open to the outdoors because the river is right there, which is kind of a cool feature, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's like you can pull your boat right in.
Yeah, and cool. then Freddie Lee now is sporting some sort of multicolored striped silk shirt.
And everyone's giving Kurt and Xian the stink eye.
Yeah,
right when they roll in there. But they saddle up. Xian just immediately starts ordering drinks. He shoves a drink in front of Kurt, tells him to drink it.
Yeah,
he takes that shot, and Xian tells him translates to a kiss of death.
Yeah, Kurt doesn't seem to enjoy the first one so much.
He's like,
why would you?
It's hot.
It's hot.
Maybe it's just Fireball or something.
Yeah, maybe so.
But there's a time lapse cut. It looks like, I mean, how many shots do you think the guys have had? The table is full of empty glasses.
6, 7 a piece, maybe 8. Let's because they're also these like little like carafes, like mini carafes. So maybe they each would get like 4 shots per carafe, and they've got a few of those.
Oh man, I don't know. I thought Van Damme was pretty decent at acting drunk.
Yeah, but I love it that it's at this point where they're however many shots in that he asks what they're drinking, and I'm wondering,
is it only then?
And so I'm wondering, is this the first time he's asked, or is he so drunk that this is the 5th or 6th time he's asked and he just doesn't remember?
He's fucking blackout, dude. So Xian asks Kurt if he can dance, and he's like, "Dance." And he's like, "Yeah, like disco." He's like, and Kurt tells him he's good.
I'm good. That's confidence.
So Xian says he wants to see just how good he is. He sort of drags him out on the dance floor, grabs a girl by the jukebox and drags her over. They start dancing a little bit, and then Kurt signals to another woman who's clearly with a guy, like, come on and join the party.
Oh, God. The song is sort of this weird, straight up, like, James Brown ripoff.
Yeah, the song is called Feeling So Good Today by Bo Williams.
I'm feeling so good thinking about this scene.
Dude, I am feeling so good just thinking about this shit. I mean, this, as we said, this is like the most iconic scene from the film, I gotta think.
Oh, the dancing, the uncoordinated gyration of the highest degree. It is just...
How do you describe this?
Sort of his just rhythmless, like hackneyed, weird, like bent over sort of air guitar sometimes, like hip gyrations. And
there's a little like pelvic thrusting. I feel like most of his moves seem predicated on like just swinging his hips back and forth.
Fuck yeah, that's hot. Nice.
Meanwhile, this is happening, but meanwhile, Xian is going around. He's whispering in the other guy's ears in the bar.
Yeah, we start to get the up and down looks from Freddie Lee and company and all these guys in the bar. Like,
you get a lot more evil eyes. But now, once Kurt starts doing splits,
you go too far, sir.
That's
the locals have had quite enough.
The goons have decided they have seen enough.
I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just annoying behavior, but a split to me would seem like the least threatening romantic overture a person could do, right?
They can't have him disrespecting the bar like this.
Do you think that a split maybe in Thai culture at that time meant
it's the same as a middle finger? It's the same as
I want to make it with your woman.
It's universal sign language.
So yeah, I guess it's like after split number 7, he gets attacked.
That's it. The guys have seen enough. They come at him one at a time. A big old stereotypical action movie bar fight breaks out, but Kurt is just whipping ass on all challengers.
Not bad for a dude who's supposed to be drunk on Kiss of Death.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like roundhousing, lots of flying split kicks, which he uses to knock out 2 guys at once, which is awesome.
Incredible. This one guy grabs a bottle or grabs a glass. He breaks it over the bar. And then they cut to a shot and he's just empty-handed again, and Kurt kicks him in the head.
Maybe he threw it. We just didn't see it.
I like the one guy who decides that his most effective attack is just going to be to pick up a table and just hold it. And then Kurt kicks the table and it knocks the guy out into the river or whatever.
Well, I'm bugging about the fact that Freddie Lee's lieutenant gets up to, I guess, kill Kurt with some throwing knives that he keeps in his jacket.
Very distinctive knives, like sort of a bronze handle with a little red and
like a
blue
brass handle with some like
glass
inset
or something.
glass or not a precious stone, but those are cool looking knives. But he's gonna kill Kurt. That's the take home.
And Freddie Lee stops him.
Yeah. But why throwing knives? Why not carry a gun?
Maybe it's illegal to carry a gun and not illegal to carry knives, but
Maybe so.
These guys don't seem like they take the law very seriously either.
They own the law. They pay the law off.
I am the law.
I am the law.
I'm the law. Oh boy, we'll have to get to that one day too.
Yeah, that movie sucks. But anyway,
but yeah, as you say, his henchman, he goes for that set of knives. And Freddie Lee stops him. Then that's when Kurt executes one of the most ludicrous moves I've ever seen, which is just that jumping split where he apparently knocks out two dudes on either side of him.
I'm a fan.
There's no way those guys were anywhere close to actually being hit by that move. Don't you? I mean, I don't know that you could. I don't know that move could physically actually work either.
If your legs are really strong, I think it could.
Maybe.
And if you can jump high enough.
But then Kurt plops back down. It takes one last shot.
Yeah, to finish his kiss of death.
That's when one particularly tattooed, shirtless, tough guy walks up and like sort of puts his hands down on the tabletop. And then Kurt fucking finishes him off by like whipping his arms out from under him where he falls flat on the table and then sort of double palm striking the sides of his head.
He's learned a lot from Xian in a very short time.
Yes. I'm enjoying the hell out of this scene too. It's always nice to have a bar fight in a film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it's a good one because this one has like a lighthearted vibe to it, despite the undercurrents of attempted murder on behalf of.
We got that jaunty "Feeling So Good Today" song playing throughout. But yeah, afterwards, then Kurt he's looking around the bar for Xian.
Where the hell is Xian?
And Xian has stepped outside. He's talking to Freddie Lee about booking a fight. He's like, you see how good my kid is here. He embarrassed your young fighters. Like, why don't you put him in a match against some of your real fighters?
This is like that Miyagi versus Kreese moment in the dojo.
Yeah,
dude. We're gonna face off at the tournament. Put your kid up against my kid.
So Freddie Lee sort of just gives a nod and leaves. Freddie Lee was played by an actor called Ka-Ting Lee, but none of the voice that we hear in this film is him.
Right.
This is the first time we've really heard him talk in the film, so this is why I bring it up now.
Right.
But he was voiced by Jim Cummings, right?
Legend Jim Cummings. God, he's awesome, man.
So you, I think, maybe did more research than I did into Jim Cummings, but I know that he did voices of Winnie the Pooh, Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, and Darkwing Duck.
Those are like the staple things that he did in the 90s as far as TV goes, but viewers or fans of Disney from the 90s may remember him as being the voice of Ed the Hyena in Lion King. But more recently, if you're a Star Wars nerd, Jim Cummings is the voice of a character named Hondo Ohnaka in some of the animated series. So he gets around. He is all over the place. He's fucking... I would love to emulate that career. That's so amazing. Yeah.
And did Killer work matching the mouth of the actor?
Oh, for real.
I did not know until researching that was not just him. Yeah. I wonder if it was just they didn't like the sound of this guy's voice or the accent was too thick. Because clearly he was speaking English, the actor.
Maybe it was still just a thick enough accent, like you said, that it just was. Yeah. It just didn't work.
But so Kurt comes up to Xian. He's concerned about why did everyone want to fight him, and this is another one of those
guys try to hurt me.
That's another one that I can just hear in my head anytime I want to. Why those guys try to hurt me? What did he say? Something about, and why are they so pissed at me? Yeah, Xian tells him. He said, I told them that you said that they're not good fighters and that their mothers fuck mules.
Damn, Xian, trying to get Kurt killed.
Then Xian made drunk ass Kurt drive him home in a pedicab.
I would have vomited 7 times.
I was thinking the same thing, man. I can only imagine the amount of hurling that happened after this.
I would not have been in good shape at all.
This is neither here nor there. When's the last time that you got sick from drinking?
Oh, man.
Has it been a minute?
Maybe 9-10 months or thereabouts. Okay. Me and some friends were like hanging out doing a music night and everyone was drinking beer or whatever. But me and my buddy like drank an entire bottle of rye between the two of us. It was not good. And then we opened a bottle of bourbon and it was shortly thereafter that things got bad news.
I only ask because mine was literally yesterday. I told you the story already, but me and a lady friend had 3 bottles of wine between us, and it's been a while since I've gotten drunk off wine, and that's a bad drunk too. That's a bad hangover. I was so dehydrated. My legs were cramping in the night, like my calves were cramping up. It was not a pretty sight. Yeah. It was one of those where you just like knew that this stuff is coming back up here.
Yeah. I woke up the next morning with a nifty scar on my forehead from where I accidentally face planted into a bass drum, and I had "fuck you" written across my forehead.
Was that easy to get off?
Yeah, thankfully.
Oh God. Okay. We'll segue back to the movie somehow, some way here.
That's a shame, but anyway.
Yeah. So meanwhile, in Thailand, Kurt was in the arena getting ready to fight a guy.
His maiden voyage.
Yeah. You see the opponents doing that same sort of pre-fight ritual that Tong Po was doing, what'd you call it? Or what'd you say it was?
Waikru Ram Mui.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It seems for whatever reason like Taylor is trying to intimidate Kurt.
Trying to get him psyched out.
Because he's telling him like, oh, this guy seems really mean and tough. I don't know. But they start fighting. Kurt's doing a great job of, as he's trained, to dodge the strikes of his opponent.
Yeah.
The other guy can't seem to land anything.
Yeah, Freddie Lee is looking on with great interest during this as well.
Yeah, he's sort of, at first I think he's like, sort of thinks, okay, this is not, this guy's not all that, whatever. Yeah. Then the two just start exchanging kicks to the ribs.
This is a direct ripoff from Bloodsport.
Yeah, dude, with the fight against Paco, right?
Yeah.
Who was also a Muay Thai guy. But yeah, it was one of those where they're going back and forth, one blow for blow, until Van Damme just starts going so fast that the other guy can't keep up anymore. Then Van Damme starts kicking him in the head until he eventually just knocks him out. But yeah, dude, same choreography as Bloodsport.
Van Damme was like, that scene worked so well the first time, we're going to do it again. Why change it?
But dude, it's not so much Van Damme. Clearly he's got powerful legs, and I'm sure these are powerful kicks, but dude, the sound effects that they use for those strikes were just like boom.
It sounds like 2 hollowed logs banging together. It's just like,
yeah,
I can't.
And they gave Van Damme's kicks a more powerful, heavy sound than the other guys.
They've got bass to them.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
It sounded like it just fucking destroying that guy's ribs.
And Freddie Lee is like not happy.
Yeah,
about
dude.
This
He's
at all.
pissed. Xian starts the Naksu Cow chant.
Yeah.
Which Kurt asked, what does it mean? And he's told by Taylor that it means the White Warrior.
Anytime someone tries to get the chant started in this movie, their rhythm isn't great, and so it always takes them like a few seconds to like get on the same page about saying it. It's like Natsu Cow.
Cow.
Just say it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Come on, clap your hands.
It caught on.
Yeah, eventually.
So Kurt is screaming at Freddie Lee that he wants Tong Po, and Freddie Lee just clenches his fist, which I guess that's like universal sign language for it's on.
I love the weird fist clench of affirmation, and I want to start bringing that back, like saying make it, because like if someone on a call or something is like, John, we need you to we need this brochure copy proofed and edited by 2. Will that work? And I can just go and clench my fist.
It's very clear what it means, so that it works.
It's so weird.
Over at the hospital, we see Eric is seeing Kurt's on the front page of this whatever fighting publication that he's reading.
Yeah.
He seems
news travels fast in the fighting world.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that is pretty quick turnaround on the printing of that. But Eric seems nonplussed to see it. He wads the thing up and throws it away angrily. Why do you think that is?
It's I sort of, based on
jealous?
the looks on his face, I think it's equal parts concern and jealousy.
Okay. He doesn't like seeing his brother succeed.
I think he's jealous because, you know, that should be me, like, because I'm the champ, but also concerned, like, if he's doing this to prove something against Tong Po, then we've already barked up that tree and now I can't walk, you know?
Right. So now back at Xian's, Kurt and Xian are training. And when Taylor arrives with Eric and Mylee, straight from the hospital, I guess. And that's where Eric congratulates him on his big win last night or whatever. And I'm like, wait, it was nighttime when Eric was looking at the paper. Like, they got that shit turned around quick.
It went to press immediately.
It was like either, or he was looking at that thing at 5 a.m. or something, maybe, like it had just arrived. But either way, it was incredibly quick turnaround on the fighting publication there in Bangkok.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But Eric, you know, he gives him he at least pays lip service to congratulating him on the big fight. And Kurt is telling Eric about how everyone was calling him Naksukal, the White Warrior.
Yeah, but before he hears about it, he wants breakfast.
Yeah, Eric seems pretty ready to just move on from talking about the fighting. He says he's starving, asks them what they've got to eat around here.
Would you be willing to try some of Taylor's Jungle Survivor quiche?
She asks, like, what's the secret ingredient? He says cobra heads. So I started to Google this and had typed in, are there cobras? And it auto finished in Thailand. That's awesome.
And the answer is yes, there are. There are apparently lots of cobras in Thailand. So I don't know if they have some already, like, packed and ready to go for breakfast, or if they're like
the Mylee store might sell them.
Maybe Mylee sells cobra heads. Daily special on cobra heads. I have no idea.
I don't know that I would eat the quiche though.
I would eat.
Would you go for it?
Oh, hell yeah.
What do you think is the nutritional value in a cobra head?
Probably like chicken. I would say. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know either, dude. I'd be freaked out by it, but I'm a picky eater.
Delicious. Cobra head.
Yeah. So they disappear off to make breakfast or whatever.
Then we get a cut to Kurt training on his own at the Stone City.
And that's the amazing, like, silhouette shot.
That's iconic.
Where it's either sunrise or sunset, something, the amazing, like, pink skies, and Kurt is doing his thing. This probably, like, the most iconic single image for this movie.
I would think so. It's stunning.
You see the silhouette of Stone City, you know, you got the pagodas or whatever, and dude with the fucking amazing physique and everything like that.
It's beautiful. It's a really, really beautiful shot. Way to go, guys.
So, I feel like this movie and Bloodsport are kind of companion pieces, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, same. So a lot of the same people involved and all that, but for whatever reason, like, this movie just feels like a lot bigger of a movie to me. I think it's because of the epic feeling you get from having these visuals and stuff.
The setting feels much more iconic than...
The only thing that's close, I think, in Bloodsport is when he's up at the temple doing splits on the altar.
Yeah.
And,
Morning
and
altar
you just
splits.
like, wow, look at the scale, look at the grandeur of Hong Kong or whatever. But this movie's got that, like, in spades, you know?
100% agreed.
Yeah. It's awesome. So meanwhile, back at the farm, whatever.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Eric is looking around for Kurt. Xian tells him that he's off training on his own.
I appreciate that Xian's compound's wheelchair accessible.
I didn't see a lot of ramps around there.
Well, but he had to get up there somehow.
Yeah, I guess so. We don't want to know. I mean, in life, he stood up and he picked the chair up and he put it back down.
I guarantee that Xian had ramps. Guaranteed.
You think he had some ramps installed? That's awesome. Yeah. Good for Xian. He's forward looking.
He is. He knows what's up.
And we're back at Stone City. So I guess that was probably sunrise then that he was training.
Yeah, supposed to be before, like, breakfast time.
Yeah. So he's training and he seems to hear something that distracts him a little bit. Just like, what is it, like chimes or something?
Sounds
almost,
like when a boss in a video game does a special move or something. It's like, it's like
it's just a weird little musical cue.
Pulls out their sword or something. It's like, what is that? It disrupts his flow for a moment.
So then we cut back to Eric and Taylor are playing cards. Xian is playing some type of like dope ass string instrument. Do you know what that is?
I do. So that particular one, that's the Thai equivalent of the Chinese arhuo. It's arhuo. And it's got two strings and the bow is positioned in between the two strings. And the Thai equivalent is called a duang.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing?
Yeah, I tried to play an arhuo in front of a crowd of Chinese people, like earlier in the movie when he's in that village and sort of like their crowd gathering around him and stuff like that. It's like I can identify with that, except I never would have touched like some stranger's kid, like just to drink their water. But like people gathering around because of the novelty of that situation is definitely a thing, because you're in a city of however many million people who have never seen a Westerner before.
That's awesome.
But that instrument is like, to someone who, no knowledge of how to play. I mean, even with a knowledge of how to play a stringed instrument, that's a really challenging instrument to try to play.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So now, then we're back with Kurt at Stone City, and he's having these like auditory hallucinations. It sounds like ancient combat. It's like sword on sword.
It's the cobra venom from the quiche.
Yes, he's hallucinating.
He's tripping balls, man.
It's like, I don't know, dude. It's like the fucking spirit of Muay Thai or whatever, ancient warriors. I mean, Xian had told him earlier, he had said, while you're training here, listen.
It reminds me of the scene in Big Trouble in Little China where Egg Shen and David Lopan are having their moment, and they're like, their ancient warriors, spirit warriors are fighting each other. It's exactly what that reminds me of.
So now Kurt is walking back home.
Yeah.
It seems like a thunderstorm is rolling in, and then
lightning flashes.
he spies Mylee's moped.
And he starts getting creepy.
And he approaches her, and she's picking wildflowers, probably for her market or something.
The character is almost always holding flowers, or really often she's holding flowers. Is that symbolic? Is it a metaphor? Or is it just they wanted some more color in the scene?
Maybe to make her seem very pure and of the earth or whatever.
It's always a great pop of color in the scene. I just wondered. I was like, I wonder why. There had to be a reason behind it. But anyway.
But as he sees her here and like the rain is beginning to sprinkle or whatever, Van Damme does this weird sort of, like, he cocks his head to the side and it's like this look of resignation on his face that comes off as him being like, oh shit, I guess I got to go fuck her now. Like, it's like because it is just like, I'm not gonna, we're
too far along in the process.
Damn it. He's like, he's like, I got to just go handle my business here. But he approaches her in a creepy ass fashion, right?
Like stalks her.
He sneaks up on her.
Well, he's a ninja. Yeah.
And he sort of picks a flower and he caresses her shoulder or something with the flower. I don't know. He catches her by surprise.
Not a good move.
She's startled as hell, which is never like the best way to
start a romantic encounter.
I like to catch him by surprise.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's problematic. Don't do that. But yeah, they start to make out as the lightning is crashing and it begins to rain.
You should always announce your presence before beginning the mating ritual, at least.
Yes. I like to just, I
like to jump out from behind a door or a curtain.
Sneak into their house when they're not home. And
Jesus.
No, but, it seems to work for Kurt because I guess Mylee goes for it.
He goes straight, like Kurt's jaw is unhinged, and I feel like Van Damme is the kind. Van Damme's the kind of actor that goes straight to the tongue in those situations without letting his scene partner know that it's going to happen, and I don't know. Maybe they had good chemistry and she didn't mind, but it seems so aggressive.
Yeah, both Van Damme and Kurt had seemed like they've been looking forward to this scene.
Yeah.
But anyway, we assume that they probably made it, right?
They made it that night in the wildflowers, in the rainstorm. They were the storm that night.
Mosquito bites everywhere, I'm sure.
Yes.
Then we cut to another like sort of mini montage almost.
Yeah.
You got Kurt is doing these jumping, spinning kicks and breaking these pots.
He's
getting that hanging filled with water.
He's getting that post-coital morning workout in.
He's just feeling extra limber. He's doing all this to the delight of everyone except for Eric, who seems...
he's glum.
Yeah, he's not impressed.
No.
So then we got, this is odd, Kurt asking the dog Kiki if Kiki thinks that he's ready. And the dog barks, the apparent dog equivalent of no.
Yeah. If you speak dog, you know.
Naysaying ass Kiki.
Yeah, for real. Fuck, man. That's like the second interaction with that dog that we've seen the whole movie.
It's so weird. And then Kiki runs off and Eric approaches and Kurt says, one day that dog is going to believe in me. It's like getting the approval of the dog is very important to
I wish that they'd set that relationship up previously, but whatever, we'll go with
him
it.
And the dog.
Yeah.
The last time we saw them together, he was being chased by that dog with meat hanging from him. Yeah, Eric is come along to tell Kurt that he doesn't want him to fight Tong Po.
No, I'm not surprised by this information.
Yeah, no. And Kurt says, well, he put you in that wheelchair for life. And Eric says, that's right. And I don't want you in one alongside me. Dude, that's pretty fucking strong logic.
It is very strong logic.
Dude, and I will also add, Eric's mullet was looking especially luscious in this scene, dude.
Yeah, he brought all of his product with him to Thailand, out to the jungle.
It was oiled up.
Oh, my God. Just glistening in the daylight.
But so now Eric swallows a lot of pride and he admits that he should have listened to Kurt before when he told him not to fight him. Kurt saying that, I can beat him because I've had the training from Xian. And Eric's saying, Tong Po's not going to let you out of the ring alive. It's just, this back and forth.
Why does everyone think that Tong Po is going to murder Kurt? Because of the run-in with the guys earlier at Mylee's store?
Probably a little bit of that.
Because of the bar?
I think it's also, my guess would be that it's like that, we crippled the one American and then this other guy, like they're back for more. Like we got to make more of an example.
It's an honor thing then?
Perhaps. Yeah. It's like we got to really make sure these guys never come back around or show, or, prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, I guess, that our local fighters are better than these Americans.
It then made my logic spin off to ask whether Tong Po had meant to kill Eric and failed.
That could be.
Or do they think that just now they've insulted Freddie Lee to the point that Tong Po will be under orders to kill Kurt? So,
well, the way they just took Eric out and left him on the curb.
Yeah.
Probably the desired result was that he wasn't going to make it.
He was just going to die.
Yeah.
Right. Thank God for that doctor.
Yeah, dude. He did God's work. Kurt tells Eric that, I'm a better fighter now than you ever were.
Fuck.
And I'll win the fight. And that actually seemed to hurt Eric's feelings.
It's a rough line to pass on to your paraplegic ex-fighter brother.
Yeah,
right?
You're never going to fight again, and I'm a better fighter than you ever were.
He's visibly wounded, and it's kind of insensitive for him to drop that line right there.
It is a little bit, and he is hell-bent on revenge, basically, is what we're getting from this scene. Like, he's not going to let it go, even though the person who he's trying to avenge is asking him to let it go.
Right.
And about this time, Mylee comes running up and tells Kurt, you got to come quickly. And there's like a dude dressed in an interesting costume delivering a scroll that's inviting Kurt to fight Tong Po.
Right.
I love this bit, though, where Mylee is explaining that, you guys are meant to fight the ancient way, which means hands wrapped in hemp and dipped in resin and covered in broken glass.
Feels just like I'm walking on broken glass.
Eric, I think, speaks for all of us watching the movie, and he's like, bullshit.
Yeah, it seems a little risky, especially when you haven't been training with, glass hands.
I gotta say, that's a pretty fucking reasonable reaction from Eric.
Ain't no way that's happening unless there's a shit ton of money involved.
Yeah. So Xian sort of hands the scroll to Kurt and nods at him like, this is what you asked for, right? You got your wish. That seems to be what's being said there. And Kurt follows Xian off to train, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you got Eric yelling as they're walking off, "You're not going to fight that asshole like that. I'll kick your ass all over the place." He's like, "Listen to me, Kurt, listen to me.
I'm your big brother and the voice of reason somehow at this point in the movie."
Yeah, somehow when you're listening, when you feel like Eric's now the reasonable one, something's gone wrong here.
Interesting to think about. They should do a recut of like a trailer of this movie with some serious music where it's just like Kurt's insane, revenge obsessed.
So yeah, now we're night training at Stone City.
Love it.
Which is also fucking badass. Xian's got these like red hot spears that he's been cooking in the fire out there. He's waving them in Kurt's face, who's dodging them. That seems like fucking dangerous ass training.
Some great cinematography there, though. The colors are crazy cool.
Epic looking. But and how strong must Xian's forearms and everything be to be waving these
metal rods,
5-6 foot long metal rods around? Dude's fucking
he's
yoked
sprying.
up. He's got that old man strength.
Yeah, he does, for real.
He's wiry. So as they're training, he's hearing again the flashback of Xian telling him, while we train here, listen, and he's having the full-on now hallucinations. He's seeing the ancient warriors fighting. Yeah. And they're wearing the full armor. They're fighting with spears and swords and stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all come full circle, I guess.
He's tapped in. He's listening with his mind, heart, and whole being.
The eagle is probably somewhere watching. Though it's night, we can't see him.
He's there.
He's like, the eagle's off to the side jerking off.
Mouth breathing.
He's fucking creeping on him. Perved out eagle. He's like, I've been waiting for this moment.
Pervy eagle sounds like a cool punk band.
And then I guess cut to next day, we're at this like lush estate.
It's a lush garden.
Yeah, Freddie Lee and his right-hand man have come to see some rich fat cat that they call the Master Warlord.
His name is Tao Liu, the Master Warlord.
Oh, nice. There's fucking bikini babes everywhere. Dude's getting a massage.
He's getting that poolside rub down, baby.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, this guy is living life right. I want to hang out with him. I want to see a movie about him.
The Master Warlord.
Yes. How did he get that title? I want to be known as Master Warlord.
That's a porn.
But so Freddie Lee is telling them that he's arranged a fight between Tong Po and an American. Everyone laughs. And this is another one that I can hear anytime I want to in my head, where Freddie Lee says, "He has been trained by Chan Chow."
And laughter abruptly stops.
And then Master Warlord is like, "Chan Chow," which I guess Chan is the pronunciation of Xian.
I'm going to shrug here too. Yeah, it's Xian, Xian, or Xian, and then Chan.
Chan Chow. He has been trained by Chan Chow. But yes, he's basically there. He's promised, he's assuring Master Warlord that Tong Po is going to win the fight. He says, they will fight the ancient way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine then. That's fine. Cool.
And then he's telling him, I want to borrow $1 million to bet on Tong Po. And the Master Warlord says, "I trust you will not fail me."
That's a lot of money for a fight bet.
Well, you would think the odds are not going to be good enough to make that very profitable, even if you win.
That's a good point.
Tong Po doesn't lose. It's like, I'll bet $1 million for the chance to win 50,000.
Yeah, it's a good point, because, and maybe that's why I'm so awestruck by the amount of money, because there can't be anyone in Bangkok that would think that Tong Po is going to lose that fight, regardless
not to
of
some American guy. Yeah.
Even if he trained with Chan Chow, unless word got around town.
Yeah. So then Master Warlord is saying, "I trust you will not fail me," and Freddie Lee says, "It's all being arranged."
We had assurances, sir. No, don't worry your pretty little face, Master Warlord.
So now we cut to this awkward scene, or more than awkward. Now we cut to the scene. Mylee has been kidnapped and she's been brought before Tong Po. Tong Po sort of starts to slap her around a little bit. We hear like her clothes ripping.
He like smiles and stands and starts to like disgustingly lick his lips. And so I think the writing is on the wall for what's about to happen here to poor Mylee.
There's not a whole lot to say about this scene. It's just an unpleasant, revolting scene all around. And
to their credit, they didn't show a lot because they didn't need to. We know what kind of monster Tong Po is at this point, and so fuck you, Tong Po, you asshole.
Now we're at the bookies' headquarters or the betting parlor or whatever it is, and bets are being laid down for the fight. Freddie Lee enters with his briefcase. He walks straight to the back room, plops that sumbitch down, and opens it up. It's filled with cash, and he says, "Tong Po." That's fucking awesome, dude.
That's it.
So then we cut back to Mylee is back with Xian, and she's crying, and Xian is consoling her, comforting her.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's a tough scene, dude. And Xian is clearly enraged. But there's not a whole lot he can really do about it.
Right.
At this point. So
at this point, they got to let Kurt be in the zone.
It's all on Kurt now to get the vengeance that they all want. So
in a fixed up fight that he has no chance of winning, right?
Yeah, dude. So we'll leave it here. We'll find out how this fight plays out with Tong Po in the next chapter, the final chapter.
Final round. Fight!
of our awesome breakdown of Kickboxer. So we'll check you guys out next time.
We'll be back.